Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Hey, look, here's what we're going to do. This is going to be the Chuck Graham Late Show. Why? Because nobody views me during the daytime because everybody's listening to Louder with Crowder or Joe Rogan or one of the two. So I've got to upload my ass at like 12. So I'm going to premiere this show for about 12 midnight. Maybe I'll get more than 2 views because you folks won't join the channel. So subscribe to the channel, whether you're on Rumble or whether you're on YouTube, Gab, whichever, Gab TV. Subscribe or go to charlesgraham.com. You can support the show. You can listen to the podcast. It's on Spotify, all those. But here's the thing. The bottom line is oh, and by the way, Texas is building its own border wall. Yeehaw. Isn't that giving Biden the big fuck you? The fact is they ought to. They should. I don't understand what the hell's wrong with the America today. Millions of people coming across the border, and they don't see that as a threat to this country. I just don't get it. And all these musicians canceling out because of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, really? I mean, I did a show on him, and I talked about how he's just a middle of the road guy. But what do I know? I'm just a lonely podcaster with not many subscribers. That's why I subscribe. Anyway, so here's the thing. Should Texas build the border wall? Sure. Why not? It's Texas. I mean, it's America too, but it's Texas first. I mean, you're coming across into Texas. So yeah, they should. It's the responsibility of the federal government to do this, but since they're not wanting to do it, or they're just too lazy and they're circumventing the Supreme Court, which apparently has no teeth because they haven't held them in contempt, and they're still not complying with the Supreme Court ruling on putting Trump's stay in Mexico policy in place. They're taking them and busting their ass throughout the United States, which is totally against what the Supreme Court actually told them to do and ordered them to do. So is it shocking to me? No, not at all. It's not shocking to me at all. And I mean, we're in bizarro world. I just don't get it. You know, everything from trans to border security to Joe Rogan. I mean, Joe Rogan's middle of the road liberal who just happens to be a nice guy, pretty humble too. Talks about how he still likes Neil Young's music and stuff. I mean, screw them fucking artists, man. If I had to pick between Joe Rogan and every one of them, and I mean Taylor Swift all the way down to Adele, if they want to take their shit off Spotify, whatever. If I was Joe Rogan, what I would do is I would build my own server farm. I'd funnel people to my website and say, if you want to hear the podcast, here we go. I mean, he could do that relatively easy, and I think his tech guy could do that, and I hope that's what they're doing. It's just say the hell with them. Get your domain and stuff with Cloudflare or one of those platforms that don't regulate and are not woke, and then turn around and build your own. And then, sell your merchandise or whatever. I like the way Joe Rogan's platform has always been. Every contract's made to be broken, Spotify. You're playing with fire. You're going to end up in a damn legal battle that you're going to lose. And what if you lose? What if, I would believe if you read through that contract, which I would imagine is probably hundreds of pages that you signed with Joe Rogan, that you're going to be in trouble. And I hope he sues your ass off. I do. Just like I jump for joy today when I sit there. Not for the stockholders. I want to say that if you're invested in Facebook, sorry guys. I get it. I've lost money in the market too. But good that they lost 20% of their market share. Really. The bubble is going to burst on social media platforms. And I'm just saying, I mean, come on, you can't ride the tiger forever until it reaches around and bites your fucking head off. I'm just saying, Facebook, Twitter, all you did was create a hole in the market that's going to be filled. And that vacuum, I hope, Truth Social tanks y'all's ass. When they actually launch and get everything right and comes out, I hope people just migrate to Truth Social and leave Facebook in the dust so that no blinking ass Jeff Zuckerberg can, well, I imagine the Harvard connection or the Harvard guys that actually come up with Facebook will be pleased to see your ass crash and burn. Just, I don't know, just irritates the crap out of me. And I was watching the news just the other day, or just yesterday, not the other day. I was watching it, and I told my wife, I said, this is nothing. These media companies are nothing but a proxy arm of the government. And they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Jen Psaki gets on television and say, well, I think that they should do more to combat misinformation. Okay, you think they should do more. You're the government. If I was a police officer and I said, hey, Joe, can you look over that fence right there and see if they're making methamphetamines? I appreciate it. You'd be doing a great service to your country. Well, that's me using that person as a proxy to do what I can't do without a warrant, which means Facebook and Twitter are nothing but a proxy arm of the government, and maybe one day one of these federal district judges and hopefully the Supreme Court will get off their ass and do something about 230. It's not a real hard thing to do. Make social media utility so you can't shut them down for nothing without a court order. You know, that simple. If you think something is going on your platform that's illegal, yes, you can take that down. But otherwise, they still have recourses through the court system. If what they did put on there is not illegal, and I would suggest that the local law enforcement, wherever those people are charged with whatever it is, maybe animal cruelty, maybe pornography, maybe whatever it happens to be illegal in that particular area. See, that's a lot of work for Facebook. And fact checkers, they're not fact checkers. They're dissenting opinion checkers. And I've often said this, dissenting opinion is the backbone to this country. If you don't have dissenting opinions, you don't have freedom, period. I may not like what you say, but today's, I don't know, fag is tomorrow's Jesus. My point being is this. If you say stuff that is disparaging to other people, well, then they just need to buck up, buttercup. Everybody don't agree with you. Everybody don't say the right thing. Some people are just damn mean. But that doesn't mean they don't have the right to free speech. And the bottom line is I think that social media, since they play such a big role in the dissemination of information, that they should be considered a utility. And they should not be able to shut your service down for no reason whatsoever without a court order. Same way with phone services. Same way with lights. Because all this is a proxy arm of the government. Fauci gets with Zuckerberg and tells them what they want them to hear, which turns out to be false. I mean, everything about this pandemic, time after time after time, has turned out to be false. What the officials are saying turns out to be false. I'm not saying not listen to the officials. I'm saying do your own research as well. But enough said about that. The point being is this. Today's disinformation is tomorrow's facts. And the bottom line is simply having a different opinion is not disinformation. Disinformation is propaganda. That's what it is. It's propaganda. It's when you knowingly put out information that you know is false. That's disinformation. That's misinformation. That's propaganda. That used to be illegal in this country for the media to do that, but they do it all the time. Look at Rachel Maddow. She goes on and talks about the vaccine. Not getting into that shit, but the point being is this. She turns out she was wrong. Completely fucking wrong. And look what they said about Trump. They knew that the dossier was false, but they put it out there anyway. It was propaganda. That's it. That was disinformation. That was misinformation. Adam Schiff knew because he was head of the Intel Committee. He knew that what he was saying was a lie, but he did it anyway. That's misinformation. Saying that 5 people died at the Capitol building during January 6th is disinformation, misinformation. Nobody died at the Capitol building because of the riots. I'm not saying anything that they did was okay. What I'm saying is nobody died except Ashley Babbitt at the hands of Michael Byrd, lieutenant for the Capitol Police, which is a coward and a piece of shit. And he should be charged with murder. She was unarmed. And if he wasn't charged with that, he should be charged for discharging a firearm. His fellow officers were right behind him. He could have hit one of them. The bottom line is this, is nobody died because of that. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Every person that died, I think it was 2 suicides and 1 heart attack and some other, but they died away from the Capitol building. Nobody died there. No police officers got killed there. So the point being is this, and I don't have the information in front of me. You can go look it up. It's not hard to find. But that's disinformation. That's when they manipulate the facts. That's what that is. And folks, let me tell you something. That's bad. When you knowingly lie, that's bad. That's bad for anybody involved. It's one thing for me to give you my opinion about something and be wrong that I believe is actually true, and then I'm wrong. That's different. That's totally different. You have the dissenting opinions all the time. You have it in our appellate courts. You have it in the Supreme Court. You have it in our state courts. You have it in the House of Representatives when they're arguing back and forth, debating stuff. You always have dissenting opinions. This is the first time in our history that I've ever seen that you don't have dissenting opinions. That you can't give your opinion contrary to the public officials or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They'll all shut you down. They'll shut you down because of your dissenting opinion. They're playing with fire. I'm telling you right now, they're playing with fire. And I'm going to laugh my ass off because when this dog has his day, I'm going to wag my tail. My point being is this stuff is going to come to a screeching ass halt for YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon. Jeff Bezos. The NOLs he accumulated back in 2009 for his company, net operating losses. If you don't know what that is, folks, he had billions of dollars in net operating losses and allegedly hadn't paid taxes for a long time. If you want to get the attention of big business, get rid of net operating losses. That'll get their attention. But hey, I'm glad he's got the money to buy a $500 billion yacht. And he is liberal, progressive. The point being is this. Just because he's rich doesn't make me poor. My point being is this. I'm all for people being rich. I'm glad he's got a shit ton of money. I like that. I like that about America. But don't step on the necks of the people that are trying to make it as well just because you don't like what they say. I hope Joe Rogan sues the shit out of you fuckers. I do. And I hope you're putting a label on Joe Rogan's message when those doctors turn out to be right. What if they turn out to be right? What if they are right? What if everybody he had on the show was correct and we find that out later and we find out that we're already seeing where the officials have lied that nobody's reporting on? I can't see anything about the caravan or the convoy from the truckers up in Canada. Nobody's reporting on it, right? They give you the information that they want. And you're just supposed to be spoon-fed it. I'm not